Congressman, tell us about Resolution 615 and how the idea came about.
Sergio, Congress has a long history of carving out special deals for themselves, laws that are passed, rules and regulations that are applied to American citizens that Congress has a waiver for and doesn't have to deal with themselves. Senator McGovern is known to have said that while he was in the Senate, if he had any idea the impact of the laws he was passing, later when he got into business and learned the impact they had, he would have never done that. Well, this health care plan, as it's proposed, this government takeover, has a carve-out for members of Congress so that members of Congress can continue their own private insurance plans while the rest of the country will have to suffer through bureaucratic government takeover medicine.
What is the current status of the resolution and how many co-sponsors do you currently have?
Well, we put this resolution together, House Resolution 615, with the express idea that if a member of Congress votes for this single-payer government takeover plan, that he or she will be willing to sign up for it. Very simple. We have had quick, dramatic response from Republicans. Over 55 have signed it, starting with Leader Boehner and going down. We have also put on the internet a petition for constituents across the country to sign up. We've received calls and contacts from constituents in all 50 states. We have over 20,000 signatures, individual signatures to petitions of individuals who are interested in their congressperson to sign on to this.
As a physician yourself, what is your opinion of the current bill and its format, and are the Republicans going to offer an alternative?
Well, the Republicans have put together an alternative. We completed that weeks ago, but because we're so outnumbered, we're not able to get it even through a committee. It gets batted down very quickly. And the Republicans are very interested in health care reform. I even campaigned on health care reform coming here as a physician and now a new congressman. We want to see the insurance market, the insurance companies, the system reformed. It needs reform badly where there's no such thing as pre-existing illnesses, that insurance policies are portable, that there's affordability. People who maybe are close to the poverty line get some subsidy from the government, that we create strong incentives for healthy adults who are not entering into the system and putting their dollars into it to do so, because they're oftentimes the ones who end up being treated without insurance. We could cover a lot of people and without any additional cost if we did that. On the other hand, what is proposed is a system not unlike Medicare and Medicaid, which would be government run, would be bloated, would be inefficient. And Medicare, as we know it today, has been able to exist only because the private insurance market has been able to subsidize it to the tune of $1,800 per family per year. If we expand Medicare any larger, then it will actually tear down the insurance system. We'll see as many as 130 million Americans come over into the single-payer government takeover plan where there's no plans to control the cost. Then we will have health care rationing, long lines. It'll be like going to the DMV or to the post office where you stand in line. You'll get on a waiting list to get on a waiting list. We'll see the same sort of horrors that we see in Canada and the United Kingdom today. And in those countries, there's a vast difference between the survival rates of certain cancers, namely breast and prostate, in what we have here. And it's because of the waiting lines. They suffer there.
How will socialized healthcare lower quality for seniors and Medicare specifically?
Well, the President has already proposed gutting Medicare, reducing income to Medicare, also taking away reimbursements to hospitals. The rural hospitals are particularly vulnerable. Many of them have closed already. Many communities have fewer doctors today than they did 10 years ago. Medicare recipients are having more and more problem finding doctors that will see them. Because you have to understand, Sergio, that, and I'm still a practicing physician, if too much of a percentage of my practice becomes Medicare or Medicaid, then I could go out of business because Medicare does not fully reimburse the cost. we depend on private insurance to make up the difference. And so with this plan, it locks us into the low Medicare reimbursements, and there won't be a private insurance out there to make up the difference.
Going back to Resolution 615, you mentioned that 55 Republicans have signed on to it. Have any Democrats or conservative Democrats, Blue Dog Democrats, expressed interest in it?
There's not been a single Democrat to sign on. And we have reached out to them. We reached out to Henry Waxman and the Speaker Nancy Pelosi, have not had any takers. The Blue Dog Democrats, of course, are very concerned. They're receiving tremendous pressure from their constituents to get them not to support this in the same way that my constituents don't want me to support it, which I agree with. And so they're reluctant to go public with anything, and they won't touch this at all. But it's really a very simple thing. It just simply asks that if you're a congressman who votes for a government takeover option, which will actually end up in a government takeover of the system, that you'll be perfectly willing to accept that system for yourself instead of the private plan that's carved out for us in that health care plan. And I'll also mention one other thing, Sergio, that's important that a lot of people don't know, is this health plan provides for taxpayer-funded abortions. And the prediction is that the numbers of abortions will skyrocket in the coming few years after this plan passes, because it'll be abortion on demand without cost.
Finally, what can your constituents do and our viewers do if they want to support your resolution? What can be done?
Well, first of all, they can go to my website, fleming.house.gov. That's Fleming with one M, FLEMING.house.gov. And they can sign on there. They can get more information and tools, and they can reach out to their own congressman to apply pressure to them, let them know how they feel. Particularly those Blue Dogs, the 50 or so Democrats who come from conservative districts as I do, they really need to hear, they need their constituents to back them up, because they're stuck between Nancy Pelosi, who is strong-arming them to support this bill, and their constituents. And the louder their constituents are and the more supportive they are, that look, if you're going to vote against this, we're with you. But if you're going to vote for us, then we're going to find another congressman to represent us.